I used to be the girl who would spiral into a panic attack at the thought of leaving my comfort zone. The idea of standing out terrified me so much that I fried my hair orange trying to become blonde just to blend in. I worked as a door-to-door maid and a hotel housekeeper, dragging myself through jobs I hated because I thought that's all life could be. Then I changed the rules. Now I embrace my Indian beauty instead of running from it. I built a 6-figure business from my couch and I moved across the world all on my own. The rules I used to live by kept me average. The rules I live by now made me the exception. This is the thing nobody tells you. The rules you're living under are not yours. They're borrowed, they're projections. People are handing you their ceilings and call them reality. They tell you love takes years. They tell you money is slow. They tell you you can't do that, you can't have that. Growth has to hurt. Everything is linear. It's gonna take years. But those are the rules they're choosing to live by. They don't have to be the rules you choose to live by. The women who actually change their lives exponentially, they don't inherit other people's limits, they become the exception. They decide the rule doesn't apply to them, and more than that, they make their own. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to stop defaulting into averages and start living as the outlier who gets everything she wants 10 times faster. And stick around till the end because I'm gonna give you a blueprint, obviously, that you can just plug and play into your life that switches the flip almost instantly. So what do I actually mean by becoming the exception to the rule? It's so important that we understand what this actually means in order to shift it. Becoming the exception means refusing to let yourself be defined by other people's timelines, their statistics, or their failures. Most people are living inside the rule of averages, timelines, ceilings, aka how much you're able to achieve and the time frame you're able to achieve it, realistic goals, and social scripts. Most people make this amount of money in this field, so you shouldn't expect more. How are you expecting to get a job right out of college in that field? It takes most people 20 or 30 years to climb the ladder. You just need to follow this script and your life will be perfect. Graduate, get married, have kids by 35, and retire by 65. I mean, it's foolproof. These averages are not laws, okay? Stop treating them like they are gospel in your life. That might be the truth for somebody, but it's not the truth for your life if you don't want it to be. These are just statistics, and statistics reflect what the majority of people are doing, not what's possible, because averages keep people average. When you unconsciously adopt these averages as rules to live by, like literal law in your life, you lock yourself into a survival framework. A framework that was designed for predictability, not expansion. 99% of people are not living through an expansion framework. They are living through, again, the rules, the scripts, and all of that were passed down to them and inherited by their parents and their parents' parents. And that is simply what they're unconsciously playing out. That is a survival framework. Low risk, low reward. Here's the difference between success rules, which I'm about to give you, and survival rules. Survival rules are safe, they're predictable, and they're in the middle of that bell curve. They're things like don't get your hopes up, be realistic, you shouldn't want too much, your standards are a little bit too high, you should compromise a little bit more. Those are the comments, those are the thoughts circulating in most people's lives. Now we're gonna go into the success scripts, the success talk. The success design is making choices, habits, and environments that separate you from the average completely. It's not about luck, it's not about I'm luckier than you. It's not about miracles. It's about structure. It's about creating conditions where you literally cannot play by the averages anymore. For me personally, I never liked school. I never wanted to go to school. I did it because my parents wanted me to get a diploma higher than just high school. So I went, I followed what everybody else was doing. It felt normal. It felt natural. That's what I did. I realized very early on in my university career that I hated school. I wasn't good at it because I hated it. It wasn't that I actually was academically illiterate or that I was just a dumb person. It was that I genuinely did not resonate with it. It did not feel good to me at all, so I naturally wasn't good at it. And then after I graduated university, I had a degree that I knew I wasn't going to use to tell my parents, hey, this is not what I want to do. And I decided to go full force on content creation and building my own business. And that's what I did. Did people think I was weird, unstable, chaotic? Absolutely. Did it end up working out for me? Yes, because anything that you feel in your heart and soul is what you're meant to do will always give you success. You just have to trust that. That is a whole other story. But what I'm trying to say is when I decided I was going to be the exception, not the rule, I started designing my life differently, my days differently, my mornings differently, my evenings differently. I stopped doing what everybody else was doing because I didn't want to do what everyone else was doing. So I had to naturally create a system that was for the life that I wanted to live, with the rules that I wanted to inherit, with the laws that I wanted to live by. I built different networks, different skill sets, and different systems that broke me out of that normal scripted paradigm. I was basically freed from that box, and if you want more on this, a great book is Unscripted. It's right back there on my bookshelf by MJ DeMarco, and that was one of the first books I read that really shifted my perspective and gave me the understanding that life can be different if you want it to be different. You don't have to play by what people give you, the scripts they tell you, the stories, the limitations they push onto you. That's their life, it's not yours. And more than that, if you don't want to live a life like theirs, don't take on the rules that got them there in the first place. So remember that being the exception is not luck. You do become very, very lucky once you shift away from that really strict dogmatic paradigm that has been just brainwashed into us since school, since we were young. You do start to become this very, very lucky person. Not because now all of a sudden you are lucky, but it's because you're following the script of your soul. You're now refusing inherited rules. You're not outsourcing your timelines anymore, how long it needs to take for you to have it. You're not outsourcing your worth, and you're not outsourcing your limits, how much you're able to have, how much you're able to achieve and to bring into your life based on other people's limits and other people's beliefs about what they believe they can have. The second thing you're going to need to do to reframe your mind into becoming the exception and not the rule is to start identifying where your averages are showing up unconsciously in your day-to-day life or just in your general self-talk. This can be something like it takes years to build a personal brand and make money online. The honeymoon phase only lasts for like 3 months. Relationships always fizzle after the honeymoon phase. There's no passion left and it just turns into this friendship. Both people just sleep in separate rooms. Life is miserable after kids come into the picture. Your relationship goes downhill. Blow-ups take forever. It's gonna take forever for me to hit my fitness goals. And the third thing goes into sort of more of an action step, and this is to replace averages with intentional systems. So yes, you become a very, very lucky person once you stray away from the averages, but it doesn't always start out as luck. It usually starts out as a system and a change in your thinking and your perception of how life gets to be for you. So this is creating environments in your digital space, in your mental space, in your energetic space, in your physical environment that reinforce your new rules. You're basically trying to gather evidence and exposing yourself to new ways of thinking and new ways of living. And the best way to do that, I know a lot of people are like, social media is so bad, blah, 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 but social media can be an amazing way to expose yourself to the differences in life that you can have. So what do I mean by this? Back in the day, the only way to experience a different way of living or being was to travel, and most people couldn't afford to travel. So you really did get trapped and held captive in this limiting belief of this is all life can be, because you weren't physically, mentally, or emotionally exposed to a different way. Nowadays, we don't have to travel anywhere. We just pick up our phone and we go onto somebody's page that is living the life we want, and we get to see if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. That is the law of exposure. You need to start exposing yourself to the environments that are conducive for the life you want to live. So right now, you might not be able to travel, okay? You can go onto your phone, find a few inspiring people living your life that don't make you feel jealous or negative, but that really give you that sense of, holy crap, this is possible for me because it's possible for them. They are living it. If somebody else is living it, doing it, thinking it, believing it, you can also think it, do it, believe it, and have it. So that is what I want you to remember. Start utilizing the law of proximity. Put yourself in environments, in digital spaces that show you what you want is possible for you. It's not just this far off fantasy. Somebody is living it right now. I always use this story and this reframe to get into the mindset of believing this. Right now, I'm filming in my office. Is my kitchen out there right now? Yes, it is. It exists. But can I see it? No. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If I open that door and I go out there, my kitchen is right there. Does my bedroom exist, but I can't see it right now? Yes, it does. Just because I can't see my bedroom doesn't mean that every night I don't have a bed to go sleep in and I don't walk into my bedroom. Same thing. Just because you can't see the money, just because you can't see the love doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Somebody out there is living that life that you want right now. That means it is possible. Start believing that the rules you want to live by are not just these random made up things. These are real things that can happen in your life. Just believe that you are the exception, not the rule. The people who look like they're lucky, the ones that get the guy, get the brand deals, have the body, have the money, have the lifestyle, they're not simply lucky. They just broke the averages by setting up an entirely different operating system. So if this is the truth, why are most people living inside rules that don't benefit them? Because humans outsource belief. Instead of deciding what's possible for themselves, they just let other people do that for them. They accept limits projected onto them by family, culture, school, partners, even just random statistics that they read on the internet. And the thing is your subconscious, your nervous system is treating those things as law. It's treating them as literal truth in your life. And so anything that goes against that starts to make your nervous system go a little bit crazy. It starts to feel a little, oh God, this feels uncomfortable. Even if it's the thing that you want to experience, your nervous system is going to default into self-sabotage because it's going against the rules that you have been accepting since you were little. When you start to become the outlier, you start start to second guess yourself. And this is where people enter that loop of wanting the thing, getting the thing, losing the thing. So the biggest thing here is to let your nervous system learn what it feels like to be the exception, because the reason it's self-sabotaging all of these new things, because you have not trained it yet to feel safe being the exception. You want to fit in, you want to blend in, because that's safety. That goes back to primal days. In order to be safe and not get chewed up by a lion, you needed to be liked by your tribe, because your tribe kept you safe. So if you started to go out on your own mission and said, I'm gonna go hunt down that animal over there, I'm gonna go do it by myself, it's like, yeah, sayonara, never see you again, because you're gonna get eaten and killed. So you needed to be in a tribe to ensure your safety. So we have inherited that natural thinking where I feel safer when I belong to a group, when I fit in, when I am just blending into the crowd. But we don't have tigers chasing us anymore, so we don't need to be worrying about blending in. Your magic is in blending out. So now I'm gonna give you 6 simple mindsets that you can implement today to shift your mindset from the rule to the exception. First, you're gonna start with a quick exercise after this video, but this is gonna set you up. And this is the questions that you're gonna ask yourself. Which rules are you following? Are you following your mom's love rules, your friend's money ceilings, your industry's timelines, or your nervous system's fear of the unknown? Where are your rules coming from? Find them, name them, and make sure you know exactly where and who that rule has come from. The first rule is to stop checking what's normal. Don't outsource your thinking to, well, should I do that? Is it normal? Like, does everybody do that? Or is it just me and is it gonna be weird? Stop secretly checking what's normal before you cast a dream for yourself, before you cast a vision. Being the exception means that your vision is unreferenceable. You might not have a dream for your reference. That doesn't mean your dream is too big or it's unattainable. It simply means you're the first of your kind. You're the trailblazer. You're gonna be setting the precedent for that dream. Your dream might have a reference on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. That's usually where you're gonna find your references, because you're exposed to so much life, to so much possibility on those platforms. Your references might not come from your friends, your families, the people around you, your own environments. So stop checking your environment to confirm that your dream is possible. It's just not gonna happen. Stop comparing timelines, ages, income brackets, or anything else. The average person waits for proof before they start believing. The exception decides first. And I always say that you make the decision first and reality will follow you. You are the map. If you want more on that, watch this video next. But stop waiting for proof before you start believing what you want is possible. And it's so important to start training your nervous system. This will actually change your whole life. If you start training your nervous system to believe that sudden, unexpected miracles can just drop into your life at any point. It doesn't need to take this long. Sudden shifts are able to happen instantly in your life. Start training your nervous system to believe that, to feel safe in that. That is where real shifts and momentum come from. Train your nervous system to see fast, unlikely, sudden wins as your new baseline. Number 2, stop borrowing other people's limits. Anything that you have been told, love takes years to find, no one gets rich that young, it's not realistic to have it all, life only gets harder after 30. Take all of those, write them down, and write the opposite. Love finds me every single day. Make an exception rule to the average rule. That is how you're gonna see contrast. Those are gonna be your new affirmations, because those average scripts are not facts. They are borrowed scripts. Start rejecting them. And remember this, a limit only sticks to you if you let it. If you decide that that rule is true, it will be true in your life. If you decide that that limitation is true in your life, it will be true in your life. You assume the best, you will get the best. You assume that those laws and those rules are fact and those are the things that you are bound by, those are the things you will be bound by. Just remember that. You truly can change your life at any moment just by flipping what you believe, just by deciding that those limits don't apply to me, that rule doesn't stick to me, that's not real in my life, might be real for you, not real for me. I don't accept that. If I don't accept it, it simply can't be true in my life. You make the rules. You live by the rules you make, and only make rules that are favorable to you, that are positive, and that actually align you with the person you want to be, with the life you want to have. If I don't want love to take years to find, I'm not going to have a rule in my life that love takes years to find. There's a contradiction. If I want love now, easy, simple, stable, healthy, instantly, I'm going to have the rule in my life that love finds me wherever I go. It's so easy to be loved. It's so easy to love. I'm going to have rules that favor the thing that I actually want. I hope that makes sense. Number 3, stack evidence, not affirmations. Yes, affirmations work. They're great, but they're only the tiniest piece of the pie. They are like a supplementary tool on top of an actual foundation. Right now, you might not have the foundation. You need evidence. So don't sit in the mirror saying that you love yourself, you're worthy, you're chosen, when your environment is saying the complete opposite. When you have no receipts or evidence of those things actually being true, there's going to be a huge dissonance in your brain, and it's just not going to land or stick. Your nervous system doesn't care what you say, it cares what it sees. And that's why most people burn out out on affirmations because they're layering these cute, pretty sentences over an unchanged reality. Without evidence, even the smallest evidence, your words are going to feel like lies. So we have to break that contradiction in some way, and that is by stacking evidence. So yes, continue to say your affirmations, continue to say and reinforce that you're confident and you're loved and you're chosen, but give yourself evidence of that daily. So prove that you're confident to yourself. Go up to a random person, say something you never would say before. Like, give yourself evidence that you are that confident person while still saying that you're confident. For me, in my experience, affirmations always lead to an action. Like, when I start affirming something to myself, it will always generate this sort of aligned action within me. Try that for yourself. It might be true for you as well, but that has always been the case. So my affirmations are always very closely tied to my action. They sort of go hand in hand. Number 4, simple but so effective. Recode your language. No more I hope it works out. No more, oh, I wish that would just be me. No more I'll try to be consistent. Maybe one day. That's the vocabulary of an average person. Hoping, wishing, waiting, sitting in this void space for years, because when you decide you're in a void space, when you decide you're in a waiting season, you are naturally going to be in a waiting season. You have decided that is the rule in your life right now, and that's what you're going to live by. When you decide that there's no waiting, there's no trying, there's no wishing, it's already done, that is what will be true in your life. Replace that language with things like, I decide, this is mine, I have that, I choose this. Those words are not asking words. Those are declaration words. Those are demanding, commanding words. Now you're speaking the language of somebody who's just deciding that they are the exception. I actually lied. There's only 5 mindsets. This is the 5th one, and that is to stop copying the majority. Simple. By definition, the majority is average, and that's okay. Some people like to be average. That is their life. They want to be average. But if you don't, you need to stop copying what the average person is doing. Most people live on autopilot. They act in averages. They think in averages. They settle for averages. Their entire being, their timelines, their choices, their habits are all coded for survival. And every time you copy them, you unconsciously copy the ceiling they live under, and you're unconsciously imprinting their nervous system template wired for survival into your own. So the moment you start catching yourself saying, well, everybody does that, stop, because you're not everybody. Everyone else is broke. Everyone else is in debt. Everyone else is burnt out. Well, I should be too, because if I don't, then I feel weird that I might be doing something wrong. Trust me, that is such a difficult thing to unlearn, when you believe that when you don't feel something that the majority of people are feeling, that it must be wrong. That is simply not the case. Stop trusting what the crowd is doing and start trusting what your soul is telling you to do, what your higher self is speaking to you and saying that you need to do. That is where your success lies, and that's where your magic lies. Being the exception to the rule will change your life. And if you want a more in-depth, like literal blueprint on how to execute this, watch this video next.